The only other thing that I'm crazy about, aside from an updated Nintendo Switch, is a new iPad mini. Really excited for an iPad mini. But move on to iPads that I'm really expecting. I've been waiting for years, seriously. Yes, for the past year or two, this is that iPad mini that I've repeatedly said that I've wanted. It's finally the product that comes to address the fact that it's as if this lineup always carried some sort of a burden. The first one launched without a Retina display, along with the third iPad that did so. That honeymoon phase didn't last, and then when it didn't get refreshed for years, making the Air and the Pro models with stylus support more enticing. Point is, I've spent years on Amazon's front page wanting to buy one, but since it's never been priced as an impulsive buy, and because Apple kept launching it along with better alternatives, it's been like this product that I know that I want but could resist. This is the first major upgrade it sees since it launched 9 years ago. And most of it is good, but the question is if you'd be okay with the minor things it could do better. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and this is our full review sponsored by Skillshare. I think the most important question you should ask yourself is what you want from a tablet. I mainly use them as notepads, so stylus input is invaluable, and it's my quick way to highlight my script as a sort of shot list when I'm making a video. For this reason alone, an iPad mini is not just all I need, but honestly the most convenient size for at least what I do. Apple's choice to make this a smaller iPad Air was genius, as the bezels were reduced, and surely they're not as thin as on an iPad Pro, but compared to what we had, this is perfect. Touch ID was brought to the power button, and I love how notifications are not shown unless you touch it once or rest your finger to fully unlock. Heck, you even get USB-C support to use this as more of a pro tablet. The aluminum casing is now boxier, more modern, and helps you charge the Apple Pencil 2 magnetically, even if that means that if you want to hold this tablet like advertised, it will be while you're using the pencil to not get in the way. Still, it's interesting that Apple even went to the extent of reducing the thickness of their folio cases in order to make the carriage of this tablet seamless and still protected. Seriously, it nails all the elements of a portable notepad better than every other iPad before it. And then match some of those case colors with this starlight or purple, and it's hard to deny that this is a pretty good looking package overall. I can even say the Nintendo Switch implementation of the volume buttons doesn't really bother me. I mean, I think I got used to it after a day or so after I realized that they flip based on orientation. Now, even if the display got technically larger at 8.7 inches, that's not entirely accurate. Yes, you do get more surface area, but this is the only iPad with a 3:2 aspect ratio, making it taller than the rest. It's not 16:9, but close enough for you to like it for content consumption as you'll get less letterboxing. For watching YouTube videos or even a movie on a flight, this iPad is actually pretty good. Colors are typical Apple with good accuracy, even if this iPad lacks the contrast that's inherent to this liquid retina, along with the jiggle effect that some have been complaining about. I've learned to be okay with it, but if there's one tablet that would have benefited by high refresh rate ProMotion, it's this one, as it's the ideal form factor for gaming. The dual firing speakers are also pretty loud for its size. Load the home screen with all the widgets you want, move around different screens, and you won't be... Thing is, regardless of the fact that I'm okay with the quality of this display, my problem is really the implementation. It's as if all Apple did was port the iPad Pro UI into a smaller scale, and that's not really a good idea from a practical standpoint. See, the margins you only need on larger iPads to hold them are also here to reduce your already smaller footprint. And sure, you can make the icons larger on the home screen and even text larger in the user interface, but none of that works for the widgets. Match this with a taller aspect ratio, and then the dock gets to the point where the icons are too small unless you go horizontal, but you guessed it, the widgets remain small. Notice how text and widgets even on an iPhone 13 are larger and easier to read than on this mini, to prove my point that scaling a larger user interface is a mistake. I can understand the need for uniformity to cater to developers, but how does that help consumers upgrading to this one tablet? Like, I'm fine with applications being standard, but it's clear this mini needs its own home screen. That said, in Apple's defense, once you move past that, there is a lot of genius to this tablet. Since it runs on nearly the same guts of an iPhone 13 Pro, it's pretty powerful. We've discussed how the M1 is still overkill on the Pro series, and it shows here as even if it lacks Pro motion, it doesn't get in the way of a fluid experience. If anything, I'd say jumping from the base 64 to 256 gigs of storage is too much of a markup price, but you'll be the judge of how much storage is right for you. Everything else about iPadOS 15 is pretty awesome on this little guy. If you're into multitasking, just get used to using this tablet in horizontal, even if the scaling in vertical is sort of good. The idea of sliding from the bottom to start a note with the Pencil 2 is seriously crazy useful, even if I wish that I could use third-party applications for that. I have heard people wishing for a smart connector or even a decent keyboard accessory for it, but listen, I disagree, as I feel that those defeat the portability of this tablet with their bulk. I actually prefer pocket-sized solutions that collapse, but since it's the Wild West with trashy quality options online, my productivity has been achieved with my old iGo stowaway keyboard from 2008. Sadly, they don't make them like they used to. This iPad also supports the center stage FaceTime feature, but I'll admit that I never use it given its side placement. Also, don't expect photo samples from this camera coming from me, as at most I use it for scanning documents as every regular human should. Another surprising element has been endurance. It's not amazing, but it's also not bad either. I've heard some struggle, but I end my medium to moderate days with no less than 60% of juice. It's good enough for catching up with an ebook from time to time, or even a magazine with a bit of zooming. Maybe my best use case for it is while I'm on the go and have some time to learn a new skill, and for that, there is no better option than today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. It's one of the best ways to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. And since we were on the topic of me using this iPad to write my scripts, you can too. I'd recommend starting with YouTube Success, How to Write the Perfect YouTube Video Script by Dylan Reeves Fellows, which helps you go through the process from writing down your ideas to make the content creation process easier for you. If you're taking YouTube seriously, I also recommend Videography 101, Building a Foundation Using Your Phone by Simon Charles. He goes through multiple techniques to better your video without the need of expensive gear. Finally, I'd also take Productivity Habits That Stick by Mike Vardy, where he shares how you can create a durable productivity system that'll change the way you work, something I consider is very important for creators. And this is just one of so many skills. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to thousands of classes, whether you want to learn photography, how to play a music instrument, draw, write, or even improve your skills in business. Skillshare has something for everyone. The first 1,000 people to click in the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can explore your creativity. To conclude, can I just say that I'm in this weird situation right now? I mean, I don't love Apple's iPad mini as much as I thought that I would, but it's not because of the tablet. The hardware is great, the use cases are fantastic. This is a beautiful little tablet in so many ways, and yet it's affected by its implementation. And then there's the fact that I wish that I could sit here and tell you that it's only a software update away from being great, but if you know anything about Apple, that might not happen until June next year, or probably in the fall. That said, the more that I use it, the more that I like it, I'll admit, but I don't necessarily love it. It makes me feel that the iPad Air might be a better alternative for the price, and if you're on a budget, then the regular iPad with double the storage is nearly half the price and does most of the same things. It makes this mini more of a niche product, but then I'm actually part of it. Given how much I travel and commute, I can't deny how useful this little tablet has become for me. So it's the reason why I feel that if you fall into this category, this might also be the perfect tablet for you too. But anyways, that's just me. Let us know what you think about the iPad mini in the comments down below. And while you're at it, follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow me on my personal handles to see me debate if I want to love this iPad or not. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.